This podcast is a member of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts and content creators, visit bio.link/Red5.
It's Sunday night. How we all doing?
Hopefully better than what we're doing.
Why?
We're running late.
Running late, chasing storms, watching radar.
Yeah. Do you want coffee with that watching radar? Because you always have coffee with watching radar.
Funny. I love how you're laughing about that. We don't have a Mr. Coffee, so it doesn't work.
I don't care.
And we don't have Michael Winslow here going doing all the sound effects.
Yeah.
Sir. Anyways, how you been, Kim?
I've been doing good.
Nicole's run's a little bit late tonight. She's doing the finishing uploading a few more photos to our drive for tonight for the main event.
Yes, for the main event on the drag strip.
And the good thing is this is now second to last show for me.
Yes.
Until who the hell knows when.
Exactly.
We don't know. Anyways, we're gonna have fun tonight, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
So what are we talking about?
We are talking about American Graffiti.
Which is kind of ironic that me and you have never seen this movie before.
Before now.
Which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
But okay. But before we do that, why don't you go ahead and take care of some housekeeping?
Okay.
You know, shout the chat.
Yes, let's go ahead and shout the chat.
Oh, hold it. You know what that means, right?
Yes, I know what that means.
Please get your shit together.
Dang, Kim.
Oh, no. All right. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, Isaac. Ubaldo, I know, is in here. Luna Girl, I know, is in here. Welcome, everybody. That's all I've got on here. So if I missed anybody, sorry, welcome. Kenny, you're probably in there too.
Okay, first of all, let's teach you something about YouTube on your phone.
Yes.
If you hit this little gear button, right?
Yeah.
And you select all messages.
Oh, well.
Not just top messages.
Well, you know.
And you can see everybody's messages because Ro was in here earlier.
Yes, Ro was in here, yes. Oh, gee whiz.
Let's see. Don from the Escape Pod in here.
Well, I'm glad you finished shouting it out, okay?
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to see all this. I'm blind as a damn bat.
Well,
that's Kenny. No, you shouted out Kenny. Isaac, we said. Ubaldo.
Yep.
Luna Girl. Anyone else? Now I'm really looking. And Nicole's in the chat.
Yes, and Nicole's in the chat.
It's okay. Wow, Kim. All right, let's see if you can get this one right.
Oh, I doubt it. With the way my night's going so far, sure.
All right, let's get business going.
Thank you to our Patreons, Luna Girl and Dragon Buddy, Don Dillis, Newt Slowski, Nicholas Schaefer, Steve Long, Hannah, Mikey, Brindley Case.
You know, the thing is, I went looking this up, I think a couple days ago or a week ago, or I think it was a couple days ago. Luna Girl and DB have been our patrons since. You ready for this? Damn, I just fucking went blank. I believe it was December 2020 or November 2020.
Yeah.
Like crazy.
Very crazy.
And we love them.
We do.
And we thank them.
Yes, we do.
Because, my gosh, holy crap.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We really do.
And then our newest one that signed up through the 7-day trial is Shanti from Pop My Culture. So thank you to her too.
Which again, congratulations to her and Josh.
Josh, yes.
Again, I know we did it last week. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
They got engaged.
Yes, they do. And
what?
If you'd like to join our Patreon, go to patreon.com/usethefusedpod.
It's gonna be one of those days for both of us, I guess.
It is.
Let's just do it again for both of us.
Please get your shit together.
Yeah, we got no sleep.
Yeah. Anyway, you can join for as little as $1. You can even do a 7-day trial on either the $1 or the $5 tier. It's whichever you prefer. Don't forget to smash the like button. And if you are new to the channel, click subscribe and then click the bell to be notified when we go live. Search for Used and Abused Pod today on all your favorite podcasting apps, including Apple, Google, Audible, Amazon Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. And
It's a podcast.
yes, podcast apps.
And you say podcasting apps.
Well, you know.
I love busting you. I love giving you a hard time.
I know. You can find Used and Abused Pod on Discord, Facebook, the Gram, and X, formerly known as Twitter.
And X. It's X and Threads.
Well, you know.
Remember, we changed this live last week on the show.
Well, you know.
Yes, X, formerly Twitter.
Yes.
Did you notice now it's no longer retweet, it's repost?
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah.
Like, really?
I know.
I mean, might just call it re-X'd. Oh, Elon, don't take any ideas from me, please.
You can email us at usedandabusedpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, would you have an email?
And
voicemail.
And we do have a voicemail. You can leave us a voicemail at 928-719-0749. You know,
we're in trouble.
It's going to be one of those nights, ladies and gentlemen. Go to tpublic.com and search for Used and Abused Pod, all lowercase, for our merch store. There are t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, face masks, onesies, coffee mugs, and etc.
Which you can get like these logos, or even our cover art logo.
Yep.
Or one of the long-standing logos is the
sunset logo.
Well, I call it Fire in the Sky.
Yeah, Fire in the Sky logo. Yep. We are a proud member of the Red 5 Network. Go to bio.link/Red5 to find more exciting podcasts. Believe me, there's one for everyone on there.
Right on. And give a shout out to our Cantina family. We've been a part of Cantina family since we started the podcast.
Yes. And that is the Sidebar Cantina, live every Monday on YouTube at 5:30 Eastern.
Right. And they're going to be talking or reviewing a book tomorrow.
Yes.
Just don't remember the friggin' name of it. I know Luna Girl will throw it in the chat. So
yes, she will.
Of course, Wednesday nights you got ATSW, the Escape Pod, and that's every Pantless Wednesday.
Yeah.
Because you know what? If they are wearing pants, we call them out.
Yeah.
Yes, every Wednesday, 7:05 Eastern.
Yes. And then we also have Stranger Things Has Happened on YouTube, I believe.
Every other week on
Saturdays. Every other week on Saturday. That is with Dawn and Luna Girl.
Right.
They're watching Stranger Things for the first time and is breaking it down episode by episode, season by season. It's really good. And then there's Layman's Terms on YouTube. If you want your normal beer batter banter, go ahead.
Beer batter banter.
Hey! Go give him a follow and
this
listen.
Is why I love you so much, because you come up with some of the weirdest friggin' terminology I've ever heard. We'll be watching a TV show and she'll just spout something off or a movie. I'm like, the hell?
Hey.
Good Lord. And the Orange and Pet Show on Spotify. Plus, they're also on Apple Podcasts. Sweet Studios and Explicit Noise on YouTube.
Yep. And as a reminder, all links are in the show notes pinned to the top of the X page, and go to bio.link/used-abused-pod. Yeah.
I swear it sounds like we're sending people to a porn site.
Well, you know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, just go to the X page. Dragon Buddy.
Hello, DB.
So, yeah. Still waiting for Nicole.
Well, hey. Well, she'll get here. Do you want to cover what's happened in our weeks?
Oh, yeah. Hey, wait a minute. There is an outline here. I'm supposed to be following.
Yeah, there is.
Well, my brain's on radar too. Don't do it.
As long as the radar don't get jammed.
I told you not to do it. Alrighty. Yes, we got some changes coming to the Patreon. And hey, David's Dimensions just showed up in the chat. We're going away. So we got 2 tiers right now. They're going to change. One tier is called the $1 tier is called Nosebleeds.
Yes.
And the $5 tier is Front Row All-Stars, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to change the names. The $1 tier is going to be called the 8 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And the $5 tier will be called the cassettes.
Okay.
Later on, there will be more changes coming, more than likely when I get back or 2024, whichever is later.
Yep.
And when those come, you'll see what those are going to be called.
Yes.
And yes, we're going back to music-themed patron tiers.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
All right. What else you got? No, you're not following the outline.
No, I just
leave it to Kim. Not follow the outline.
Well, she posted.
And just for that, I'm gonna have a special tier. If you guys want to subscribe to Kim, it's called "I Love Tire Blankets and PJ1." For those that know, you know why I just said that.
No.
Oh, speaking of which, I made my wife. You know how they always terminology: happy wife, happy life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna show. Oh yeah, maybe well. There we go. Bought my wife Red Bull cans with Max and Checo of Red Bull Racing F1 team. She was all happy. Made her happy at least for one day. If I go missing, if I never come back, send help.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sure she's been taken over by Hennifer. Thank you. I know I said it.
You leave Hennifer alone.
We won't go there.
All right. Anyway, so okay, so now it's like okay.
All right. Hey, you know what? I see our co-host.
Yes. So let's get her.
I'm waiting for like a thumbs up.
All right.
Here she is.
Hello, everybody. I am so sorry. Like, I have like been the behind the scenes like rabbit the last hour, doing so much extra stuff to get extra really cool stuff in for the last like couple things.
You think you are?
So, yeah. So welcome to everybody. Welcome to the drag. Welcome to the used and abused. I mean, that's where we're
Welcome
at.
to the drag.
Well, I mean, it's American Graffiti.
Oh. Hey,
drag.
I've only been up.
We're going cruising.
Maybe a little bit, almost an hour now. My brain still ain't working, just so everybody knows.
So Kim and Scott, I want to share a little bit more about Patreon because I do have more official news. I haven't even been able to tell Scott and Kim, you guys. I have been so busy that we will have another new updated logo that's going to be Patreon exclusive. That will be coming, and that is official. I did get official word that is going to be happening, so I'm very excited. And we will give you more details when it's actually fully designed and given to us to show you guys. Our Patreons first, and we'll probably tease it maybe by next Sunday. So yay! We have something really cool coming. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, never mind.
I did get final word, so I'm excited because
Okay, hey, just so everybody knows, this is for me now.
Please get your shit together.
My brain is not working tonight.
Yours isn't, mine isn't.
We're in trouble.
No, you're not in trouble. You've got me. You've got Ro. You've got my outline. Yes. You're good.
Well, speaking of Ro.
I even like detailed everything this week. Like, do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ro. Let's bring in the Podfather.
Yes.
The leader of the Red 5 Network. Ro.
Welcome.
Hey, Ro.
Ro.
What? Oh, wow. How's everybody doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm noticing you guys are two sleepyheads. You and Scott and Ro. I mean, Scott and Ro are just two sleepyheads. Y'all need to wake up. It's nighttime. It's time to hit the drag.
Exactly.
It is the drag strip.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was a little confused. I had a dress ready to go here.
I want to see. Like, this is me. Let's go.
I didn't know what kind of show this was, so I had some backup wedding dresses and ladies undergarments ready for you.
Kim and I do a wedding themed movie review. We're gonna bring you back on, and I gotta see a dress.
Okay. All right.
You brought it up.
That's all on you. Yeah.
Well, I'm seeing in the chat some stuff about from Friday night Club Scarif. That one.
Oh yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Yeah, I put it up on the podcast feed, and we got some nice numbers. I didn't think people would listen to it, but I'm getting some good feedback. Thank you, Ubaldo. That's perfect. And Isaac, what's up? Everybody in the chat. Yeah, it's wonderful. We had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Exactly. I mean, we will definitely be talking about music later.
Definitely.
Once we get on the track. But man, that was definitely some music that was pretty awesome.
Exactly.
Well, before we get fully into this, Ro, where can everybody find you on social media? Minus the X, because I'm really mad with X right now because it wouldn't let me message you, and that wasted my time. And I wanted to give
Why
it.
Wouldn't it let you? Oh, because the limit.
Yeah.
Oh, the limit from the.
I never get a limit. How did this happen?
Because I don't know. Interesting. I got a DM from Amanda saying, Nicole wants you to head over to Discord. there's an animated GIF of somebody going, oh, which I used.
Thank you to Amanda. That's awesome that she did that for us, because I was just like, oh my gosh, I got to get all this stuff to Ro, and it's not working. Nothing's working.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not calling it X. You can find me on Twitter, wherever we're other social media platforms, but Twitter is really where I am the most active. Find us right there. You see, right there, Scarif Podcast. Check it out. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Give us some chips and cheese, crackers, whatever you want to give us. I'll be there. Some Red Bull. Look at Kim. Kim is always smiley and shit. Look at it. She's like,
oh, we know how to get her motor running. That's for sure.
It's not hard.
No.
That's what she said.
There you go.
I know. Well, shall we take things back to 1962, everybody?
Yes.
Well, we got to really clean this up.
Clean what up? What's going on? Who's not clean?
Let's see here. Let me get these photos.
Oh, Andrew says somebody's been punked. Oh, X'd been punked. Oh,
X'd. Been X'd punked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It punked me all right. And I was like, it wasted so much time this afternoon. I was so mad.
I mean, I still call it the Sears Tower.
Yes, it is always the Sears Tower.
Always going to be the Sears Tower.
And it's always going to be Comiskey Park.
Comiskey Park, Wrigley Field. Well, Wrigley Field.
Always.
Can you imagine?
Twitter,
yeah. Can you imagine they ever change that name?
No.
People will riot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
No, it's Wrigley Field. They'll hopefully stay Wrigley Field.
Kim?
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah. Because that is one of the oldest standing ball stadiums.
Ball what?
Baseball stadiums.
There you go again.
We really got their motors running.
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
Hey.
That's what she said.
All right. I'm assuming the first picture I've got is right. 1962.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Let's kick things off in 1962. Our president at the time was John F. Kennedy. Fun fact, $6,000 was the average yearly income.
Wow.
6,000.
Wow. I got that in my back pocket.
Everyone feeling good now? average cost of gas, this is good to know because, you know, we are talking about a lot about cars tonight, was 28 cents a gallon.
Who wishes that was the price
Who wants
right
28
now?
cents a gallon for gas? Dozen eggs was 32 cents, so eggs were actually more expensive. Milk was 49 cents. Stamp was just 4 cents. Too bad it wasn't 5, because then it'd been red 5. Perfect. A new house, 12,500.
Wow.
Who wants to buy a house for 12,500?
Yep.
Any takers? New car was 3,125.
Dang.
Wow.
Big movies out at that time was The Longest Day, Lawrence of Arabia, The Music Man, and The Touch of Mink.
I'll have to figure out that touch of mink. I bet you Melanie Marquita knows what that is.
Maybe, but I definitely know Lawrence of Arabia and The Music Man. Those two are definitely the ones I noticed. Stars Born in 1962 that we still have around with us today. Well, almost. I take that back. Tom Cruise, Jim Carrey, Steve Carell, Kelly Preston, John Bon Jovi, Demi Moore, and the late Steve Irwin.
Crikey.
Wow.
I know, cranky. I'm like, I talked too soon. Music that was really big in 1962, because again, we will be talking about music tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Stranger on the Shore by Alec Bilk. Interesting. Haven't heard that one. I Can't Stop Loving You by Mr. Ray Charles. I mean, who does not love Ray Charles? He's amazing. Mashed Potato Time, Dee Dee Sharp. Who knows how to do the mashed potato? Come on. Y'all saw it in Grease also.
Mm-hmm.
Roses
Scott and I are like, we're not doing that.
No.
Oh, and David Rose had a song called Stripper.
Huh.
But we're not going to be doing that today.
Well, I was prepared, but it's okay.
I'm sure. Big events. We have the sad one, which was Marilyn Monroe was found dead on August 5th. We're very
How's the big one next?
That's crazy. Marvel's Spider-Man superhero makes his first comic appearance.
Wow.
I know.
Amazing Fantasy number 15, I think.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why this is considered a big event, but I guess it was. First ever
Back in the day,
crisp chips sold with salt and vinegar. I have no idea why that was included. I have no idea why.
It was huge. It was a big event.
So here's a funny story real quick. My mom, she comes pick me up to go do grocery shopping. She's like, hey, by the way, I got a bag of chips for you guys. I don't know if you... I'm like, I look at her and say, who the hell buys salt and vinegar chips? And she's like, well, maybe your wife will like them. I'm like, more than likely. And sure enough,
Yeah.
I'm like, I was ready to throw them in the garbage. Like, oh, no, I'll eat them. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, do not kiss me. Talk about cooties now. Another interesting fact here is on here. Like, the U.S. population is only 186.5 million and 3.1 billion in the world.
Do you want to cover Rose's favorite topic about sports ball?
Sports ball. NBA champions, the Boston Celtics. World Series champions, the New York Yankees. Stanley Cup champions, Toronto Maple Leafs. And the NFL champions, better known as Titletown, the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
Sorry, we just started football season. We're not going there. Sorry.
You know, it was funny. I mean, me and Kim had this, we were talking about this probably earlier in this week. And I go, you know why? You know why they were called Titletown? She goes, no, why? I'm like, because they won so many NFL championships before the Super Bowl era. And then they won their first 2 Super Bowls and then didn't win one forever in the current Super Bowl era. But because they won all those championships beforehand is the reason why they were called Titletown.
Well, I personally like cheese on my popcorn. So there. And you get it, you get it. I mean, we do like our Garrett's popcorn, but I do like cheese on my popcorn for football day. He's like, I don't get it. I'm like, we'll get you taken care of. It's all good.
Okay.
All right. So some good slang from that year was "give me some skin," shake hands, lay it on me, tell me, out of straight and awesome. I still use awesome all the time. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Recovery American Graffiti.
Interesting. So
Awesome.
62 awesome came out, but it really didn't become popular until the 80s.
Yeah.
Probably. That's totally true.
Because
Totally.
I remember in the 80s even using awesome and being told it's not a word.
Yeah.
What? Really?
Oh yeah. It's like that's not a word. And then it was like, okay, whatever. We just kept saying it like totally awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's
Love
very cool.
it.
What comes around goes around.
Well,
Always.
what also takes place in 1962 is the movie we are reviewing tonight that was done in 1973, and that is American Graffiti.
Woohoo!
Where was I at 62? Not even born yet.
Exactly.
In 9 years I would be, but not yet.
Yeah.
We're just going to let that go.
I know. I'm old.
1973, 4 years before Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yep. He was thinking about it though.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
This was the second movie at the time.
Yes. And I think everyone knows who we're talking about, but just to be on the safe side, everybody who we're talking about is director George Lucas, the legend himself.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where'd Kim go? Where'd Kim go?
I'm right here. I'm right here.
All right. Do you want to pull up some photos there? We have a few behind the scenes of American Graffiti.
Sure.
Somewhere.
George.
I have to admit, I really liked all the really cool, fun photos of behind the scenes. They were really neat.
I love him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was definitely really interesting in how he filmed. And I like the fact that he didn't waste time because he actually used 2 cameras most of the time.
Yeah, that's a great way of getting what he needed in a quick manner. I think they shot, outside in the wild. A lot of times without permits, they just what they call it, run and gun. Put up some cameras and let the actors, and a lot of the actors were very young, so they weren't very experienced. You talk about Mackenzie Phillips, so a lot of the actors were just starting out. We know a lot of them now, obviously, Ron Howard, Cindy Williams, Laverne and Shirley fame, and folks that later on,
Harrison Ford,
obviously. Harrison Ford was probably at the time, the one that was more experienced. And I remember we can kind of get to some movie tidbits later on, but it's, filming outside in Northern California in his hometown of Modesto is, I think it was, must have been such a great experience for him. It was rough, but it was, I would imagine it was great as well.
Agreed.
Definitely.
All right, you want to show us the next one? These are just awesome. There's the 2 cameras. They are amazing. Genius. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but I feel like he was like the first director to do that, to do 2 cameras at the same time like that, or
no,
just I don't know. I wasn't sure if he was being innovative. I guess this is more of a question. Like to see if anybody else knew, because I was looking up to see, because I was just trying to figure out some other stuff. Yeah.
Are you looking to answer the question?
I know. I was waiting for you to scroll to the next one. I'm like,
I can do that.
Thanks. Because
If I can get the mouse to work and just quit running away from the cat.
Yeah, they
Weird kitty.
definitely were very smart in how they because they did American Graffiti in 29 days. So I think he was very intelligent and wise with using his time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When and how, you know.
I remember when he first showed the movie to the studios didn't like it, didn't understand it, because it was really wall to wall music. And the studios are like, what is with all this music? And I think one of the things that people didn't understand at the time is the music really was another character in the movie. I mean, these characters, the movie is kind of a coming of age movie, but the music really encompassed a lot of the feeling and the atmosphere of this night where all the young kids get together and cruise, as they call it.
Absolutely.
And it's it was a great working experience for him. And I think between I think at the time it was him and Francis Ford Coppola that were pretty much looking for a movie to do after his first movie. And I can't remember which one came first. I think this was the second movie, was THX 1138.
Is the first one.
Right. And that didn't do too well because it was, if anybody is interested in learning more about THX 1138, go ahead and Google it, look it up. It's available everywhere. But that was a little bit off the wall, and he decided to, write this movie about his life story and how he grew up in Northern California. And it was a little bit more grounded, but the studios were still like, what is going on here? But they were desperate. Francis Ford Coppola and Lucas were desperate to get, some sort of commercial hit, because they spent a lot of money, Universal money on THX, and which did not do very well. So this was kind of like their Hail Mary. And, after a few tweaks, it wasn't received 100%, right away. But I think it's one of those movies that found its audience after a while. And I absolutely love it.
Yeah, agreed. It is fantastic movie.
And the thing is,
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bringing up, like Ro bringing up the music, wall to wall music. When you think about that, that's what makes Star Wars great too.
Yeah,
it's wall to wall music. Instead of it being John Williams for Star Wars, this is all the hits from
that era.
The 50s right up, through the 60s. It's like holy crud! Plus, including using Wolfman Jack. I mean, that man was iconic back then.
Yeah.
And so that was the one thing I know really stuck out to me. When I'm like, obviously, I'm watching it for the first time, going, wait a minute, here's the use of wall to wall music. The music is part, just like Rose said, a character in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah. And the innocence of the characters. I mean, they're spending one last night together. Some of them are going off to college. Some of them decide not to. It's such a really great film for young people. I don't know. It gives me the chills. It was, it's a lot of times I ask myself if I wanted to go back in time or forward in time. I mean, this is an era really that is that I would love to, hop in a TARDIS and go back to 1962 and hang out with Falfa and the rest of the crew.
Yep. And speaking of, let's go ahead and get through those rest of those photos so we can get onto those characters. I would love to talk about those characters and those cars.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So another one we got here, of course, we're in Mel's Diner. And there's Mr. Ron Howard and a very young George Lucas. I love how he wore the Letterman jacket, by the way, most of the time while he was on set. That was awesome.
What I found ironic was, I don't remember where I read it, but reading that the only character Lucas did not relate to was Steve, or Ron Howard's character. That was the only one out of the four main, cast that pretty much we follow that night. He was the only one that George Lucas did not relate to.
Interesting. Oh, and here we go. Speaking of Mr. Ron Howard, what did you? I'm just very curious of what you guys thought about his character, Steve, because I have a love-hate relationship with this character. I like him for the sense that he's loyal to his friends, but not with his girlfriend. And I just kind of want to kick him to the curb. And I also want to ask the question is, why do we still have this problem to this day that guys are like this? I don't know. Or people are like this.
Well, I mean, first of all, he's thinking he's leaving, going 3,000 miles across the country. That's a long distance relationship. I've been in a few of those, and those do not hardly ever work. Matter of fact, the only one I can really remember ever working. Oh, hi.
Hi.
It's the only one I remember working.
Smart man.
So, I'm being dead honest too, because I mean we weren't 3,000, we were half that away from each other, but
we were,
and I can I can understand what, and plus, he's leaving high school. Obviously he's graduated already. He's going to college. He's the college guy, and he still has a high school girlfriend. So he's thinking, oh, I'm going to meet women now. I'm not going to meet a little high school girl. I'm going to meet women while I'm in college.
Yeah, he's kind of going, for me, he's kind of going through that transition of graduating high school, but yet transitioning into a young adult going to college, wanting more than just a high school sweetheart. He wants more than that.
I understood that, but there's that other part of me that goes, he's still immature. He's very immature still, because he's still being coward in regards to just let it go. I will say this is interesting because later on, of course, we have Fast Times at Richmond High, and this same scenario was also played out in the same way, except during the beginning of the senior year, not at the last night and I'm heading to college. And that it's interesting to see that played out again in other movies later on. Again, because this movie, I think it's just really the beginning of teenage movies or, young adult movies of coming of age, but that's just of teenagers,
Right. I mean, you think the coming of age movies, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, besides this, you got Animal House, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Breakfast Club, 16 Candles. I would even throw Revenge of the Nerds and stuff in there too, because again, they're all kind of coming of age movies, and those are a lot of those we grew up on in the 80s. And did it help us maturity? I'm 52. I'm going to be 52 years old in September. I am not fully matured. I'll tell you that right now. I still have my adolescent moments.
Yes.
And these are universal topics when it comes to, coming of age, young men and women, graduating high school, learning about themselves, going to college, making these decisions that are we follow these characters in this movie, and they're at a precipice. They're at a crossroads, whether they are going to step over that line, or are they going to stay where they are. So it's like I said, these topics are very universal. They're relatable, and all of these characters, I think, for George Lucas, were an aspect of himself as a young person growing up in Northern California. It's when writers write their stories, a lot of people say that everyone has at least one good story in them, and I think George Lucas, this one definitely was one of his really intimate stories, and I think writers should really take into account that that the stories that really work are the ones that you understand because you either lived them or you understand them in a deep way. So absolutely.
All right.
Real quick before, actually we'll do that at the end because that's a fun fact. Never mind.
We're getting there because I want to see the cutie pie that's on the next picture.
There you go.
Oh, there he is, Mr. Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All Kim can say.
All that needs to be said.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
like his character's a jerk, but he's adorable. I mean, he's good looking, so it's like it's hard to like dislike him and like not.
He
Your
plays
turn. You're blushing. You're blushing, both of you.
Maybe
he plays the perfect jerk in this film. The perfect jerk. Good looking. He's got everybody that
he's
wants
arrogant
him.
as hell too.
Yeah, I mean, he plays the perfect jerk.
Yep.
Which ironic in a way. I mean, you think about it. When I watched this, obviously after seeing Star Wars, Indiana Jones, all these other movies that Harrison Ford's been in, I get a sense of Han a little bit in this character.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because Han was
wonder-
arrogant.
But then I wonder if maybe George Lucas also saw what you guys are talking about, and that's when he was creating
Yeah.
Han Solo. If he was already not intentionally writing about his character here, but because in the long run, of course, he ends up becoming Solo too. So
Sure.
yeah.
And little tidbit here: George Lucas asked Harrison Ford to get a haircut, and Harrison Ford said, "Nope, won't do it." And he said, "I'll wear a hat."
Yeah.
And George is like, "Fine, wear a hat."
He wasn't making enough money.
Yeah.
And the actress sitting next to him was Deborah Lee Scott. She would later be best known for her playing Mrs. Fackler in the Police Academy 1, and then Cadet Fackler in Police Academy 3.
Yep.
Just throw that one out.
Awesome.
Tidbits.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Oh, Harrison.
Oh, here we go.
It's funny because if any, I talked about how each of these characters are an aspect of George Lucas's personality. You've got Richard Dreyfuss, which we'll see later on. He was the George Lucas that wanted to go out to college and leave his hometown. But you've got this character,
Milner.
and if you look at the picture at the top left-hand corner, that is like George Lucas to a T.
Yeah.
George Lucas was a racer. He was, a car guy. Later at around this age, I think is when he had his car accident, which almost killed him. But that white T-shirt and jeans look is George Lucas 100%.
Yeah.
Until before he got the plaid shirts, but
yeah. And of course, we have a very young Mackenzie Phillips.
Yeah.
And Carol.
Who is the daughter of John Phillips of the Mamas and Papas fame.
Musical family.
So I was supposed to have some show and tell tonight, and sadly I don't. Because my dad and I meant to get it to me, and then it just didn't happen. My dad actually got to meet Mackenzie Phillips, and he's got several autographed pieces from several people on the cast from American Graffiti, and that includes her. So
nice.
But I want to talk about something because I know sometimes this one's can be a hot topic, and that's with, of course, Mackenzie Phillips. She was so young, Of course, later she's running around with Milner. And I know some people might go, oh my God, that's so wrong. And it's this and this is that. And I go, did you forget about the sister who put her in there in the first place? Shame on the sister. I think everyone forgets about the sister and that she wanted to trick Milner. And so, she wanted to get rid of her sister for the night. So she tricked him, by putting her sister in the car, and of course I actually think Milner has a really good heart because I think he really, he tried to really look out for her. You know what I mean? He refused. He was like, no, you're going to be my cousin. You're going to do anything. I need to take you home. He tried and tried. And of course, Carol's, she's a little feisty one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little bit of a smart mouth.
She was getting a taste, she was getting a taste of the nightlife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, enjoying it a little too much.
Yeah. But again, it's just the age of innocence, it's, nowadays, man, so different.
Mm-hmm.
So different.
Oh, and I love,
and the whole time, Milner's trying to get rid of her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But every time he like that one time when he thought he did get rid of her, didn't. He's like, oh, this isn't right. So he goes, picks her up because she's literally being hit on by everybody, all the male students cruising the strip, So he goes, picks her up. So,
right.
I mean, again, he's having Milner's even having that clash of, oh, I'm still, supposed to be that tough guy and the racer,
the number one racer.
At the same time, also, like we were talking about, coming of age, growing up, getting a little bit more responsible. He don't want to admit it, but there's a little bit of responsibility there.
Yeah.
He got, once she got in his car, he felt like he was responsible for her safety, which,
yeah.
Nowadays, a guy might just say, yep, see ya.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, I found something interesting. I don't know how true this is, but I'm gonna read it anyways. That the car, the yellow Deuce Coupe, was also referenced the yellow air speeder that Anakin and Obi-Wan used to pursue bounty hunter Sam Wessel is based off that car.
Yep.
Yes.
And then Texas Diner also is based off of Mel's Diner.
Sure, of course.
So it's like me. I've never seen it. When I read that, I'm like, well, that makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
And the license plate for this vehicle is THX 138 because of the number. But yeah, so that's always pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that was that's probably the first THX 1138 like little Easter egg. Obviously, the movie THX 1138, but then he started doing it with this, and later on in life, every George Lucas movie somewhere in it had those numbers. Even when George Lucas wasn't involved, if they had ILM in there was some sort of little reference to THX 1138 in the movie. So that's kind of cool.
Yep.
There's a battle droid in episode 1 on the back of his mechanism. It's got on the side. It's got THX 138.
Nice. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, honestly, I would love to have that car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. It's
Also,
gorgeous.
I'll bring that one up later.
Okay.
We'll move on.
Yes.
Hey, Ro, you like Vespas, don't you?
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
I seriously was thinking of you when I downloaded that photo.
Oh, Lord.
I was like,
let's not talk about the Vespas.
These two characters are so great. I think, by the end of the movie, if you haven't seen the movie, I mean, come on.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. But, they developed such a great kinship and relationship and friendship. It was really nice to kind of see that develop. And what's the actor's name?
Charles Martin Smith.
He was just fantastic. I think there's a shot of where he's trying to park this scooter. Mm-hmm. And the ignition accidentally goes on, and that was actually like as it happened. It was a blooper that George Lucas kind of kept in, just to kind of show his inadequate way of doing stuff. And you can tell that the actor's like, should I stop? And then he kept going, and he parked it and walked away, and they kept it in there. But just great stuff. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And being just completely polar opposites, these two, him being nerdy and her not so much.
Well, the nice part about this character here is Ro brought this up earlier where we got specific characters that are based on Lucas's life. This character here, Toad, is based on Lucas's freshman year of high school when he was awkward around girls and stuff. So I think it's really neat kind of when you got that information after you've seen it, you're like, whoa, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I mean, we've all been there. We've all been around that moment where, okay, you're a girl. Why are you talking to me?
Some of us are still there.
You know, and I mean, we all, I mean, a lot of us go through even that. I mean, I remember when I had my first car, which was a Chevy Citation. You know, it was I think it was 4-speed, and damn right I wanted to race that every freaking place I went. I probably got my ass kicked, but I didn't care.
Well, yeah.
What was your first car?
Chevy Citation.
What year?
Gosh, I want to say 81 or 82.
Oh, wow. My first car was a 1977. And yes, that was by design, a 1977 Ford Granada.
Should probably just
Nice.
kept it. Keep those suckers. I have to, speaking of cars, though, I have to say this, though, this is the one thing I did about Steve, was the fact that he trusted his friend Toad enough to lend him his Chevrolet Impala.
Yeah.
And he was going to let him have for the summer. We all know that. I mean, sorry, for the school year until he came back. We all know, of course, that probably didn't happen in the long run, especially after that night. But yeah. I loved that he trusted him enough to do that. And then I loved how the chemistry between the actor and the actress, Candy and Charles, how that worked out. They really did have good chemistry together.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
Now, one thing I like about Charles Martin Smith.
Yes.
Nice.
He played in the Buddy Holly story later on with Gary Busey, and he also played in a movie. I love bringing this one up. He also played in a movie called The Experts, and it starred John Travolta and oh gosh, what was the guy's name? Ari something. Anyways, he was playing a Russian agent where they kidnapped these two Americans from the 1990s.
Yeah.
And brought them back into the 50s in Russia to train Russians how to act American.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those B movies where most people don't like it, but I loved it back in the day and still do.
Yeah.
And then one of my cult favorites, a horror flick called Trick or Treat, he also played in.
What did he play in Trick or Treat?
Oh, goodness, right, Kim?
I don't
You would
remember.
ask that.
I don't remember.
Mr. Wembley.
Oh, okay. All right.
But y'all, there's a couple other ones like Herbie Goes to Bananas. He played in, and also Starman with Jeff Bridges.
Nobody wore seatbelts in 1962.
No.
Yeah, but look how amazing the cars were.
I know they were built.
You could fix them.
Yeah.
If you had a little tap on your bumper, you could fix it. It didn't smash up the whole car like now. I'd rather have those kind of cars. Those kind.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Oh, I love the next car too. That Cindy Williams has, who played Lori. She had a 1958, the Corsair. Oh, I got excited. I was like, oh, this is not the full car, but that was such a great shot of Cindy. I had to cab it. Like, I'm like, nope, that's the one. That's the perfect one.
Oh yeah. I liked her car.
And she was such an interesting character. You know, it's like her and of course Ron Howard worked so good together, which will, of course, that we definitely know that in the long run of other things,
yes,
they would end up doing together. But it's like, I loved how she would get mad at him, like, but then at the same time would not get mad at him.
Yeah,
and take it back.
There was definitely something special about the two actors, Cindy Williams and Ron Howard. They worked so well together. And I can't remember if they knew each other, beforehand, but their chemistry was so perfect, really perfect in this.
Yeah.
And obviously both of the actors, went on to do, their own respective shows, Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley, again, I would say almost like spin-offs of this for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I know I read where Happy Days was actually, the pilot had already been made before this movie came out, but no one wanted it until after this movie came out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then they decided to go in and cast a character like John Milner, which became the fun.
Yeah.
And the cool part, bringing up, Happy Days is, Happy Days spun off Laverne and Shirley. So you got Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams come into Happy Days, and then eventually they got their own show.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Real quick, Kenny brought up earlier, they used to take cars to a lot of different shows, seeing the cars and the characters at the Street Rod National in Kentucky.
That's cool.
I told you guys.
And then one out of one, when we're talking about our first cars, he had a 1957 Chevy truck. He was 12 when he bought it.
He still wishes he has it.
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure.
Ubaldo had mentioned his too, a Chevy Nova 1967. Man, we all need these cool kind of cars.
Yeah.
Sweet. And there's R2.
Hello, R2.
Excuse me.
That's
why you didn't watch the show.
Yeah, we've been planning this since, I don't know. When did Ubaldo wanted us to? Oh, wait.
I don't remember.
You guys have been planning this since 1962.
Yes, we have been.
I've been planning this since I was born, 1971. How old are you, R2?
No, I think it was 4. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. But yeah. You know, R2, that's the thing about these movies. Okay. So
okay. All right. So everybody stop the presses. Stop the presses, everyone. Just take a look at the mysterious blonde.
Yeah.
And
does she look familiar? Does she look familiar? Yeah.
Well, the funny part is, Rose bringing up, does she look familiar, right?
I'm going to knock on my door.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as the movie's going on, I'm not getting a pause scene of this. And for some reason, I'm getting Terry Garr vibes from her.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
And then at the end, when I finally seen the credits, I went, son of a
Thigh Master.
Thigh Master, right? Exactly.
That's what I remember her for. It's a Thigh Master.
But I mean,
me too, Ubaldo.
Y'all go take some cold showers and
then
just listen as you.
We will. Absolutely.
I'm just proud of myself, the fact that I can watch American Graffiti and go, oh my gosh, that's Suzanne Summers, a very young Suzanne Summers.
Now,
company.
You know, that's not the same car. My uncle and my aunt owned a car, a T-Bird, just like that.
It's a 1956.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, Nicole, you are absolutely right. I mean, they don't make cars like this anymore, and it's a damn shame.
Look how gorgeous the car. I want to be the blonde in that car. Yeah. I want to be in that car.
Me too.
Well, you want to be next to her. I want to be the one in the car driving it.
Guilty as charged.
Or you could have that with Garza Whip. I'm sure you'd be happier with either or.
Oh, yeah. I'm not complaining.
Yeah. But the coin won't matter.
The only thing is I know we're still getting to Kurt, but that was the one thing I kind of still wish he got to meet her, even though it was a really fun way how like she mysteriously called him and knew his name, but yet, you know, they never actually physically met.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. No, I'm just thinking, you know, we're talking about, you know, even you know, Isaac brings it up, you know, cars used to be nice.
Yeah.
The thing is this, these type of cars, if you smash one into any of the cars today, that car is going to go through current cars like butter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would. Oh my gosh, they're so space. I mean, those cars back then were so spacious.
They were.
Inside, like
they were.
Never mind. We won't go there.
Wow. Well, this went
down a minute. You're spacious for what? What are you planning? There?
Wow.
Being the passenger in that car would not still not be able to see me. Being the passenger in that car still not being able to see me.
All right, Kurt. Let's go meet Kurt since he's you know another part of Mr. George Lucas. Look at those cars. He didn't even have a car. He was just tossed around in all the other cars.
Yeah.
You know that included the 1967 CV Which, note, 1967. Why did they do that? That was their goof. That's okay. And then the 1951 Mercury, which I would take the Mercury over the other one anyways. I mean, come on.
Right. Well, I mean, it's like any movie from a time period. They do everything they can to try to get close to everything, and they always make a goof here and there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't think there's one time period film that is perfect. You know, I mean, I know I've seen stuff where I think, what was it? That one with Russell Crowe, there was an airplane shot in it when it was supposed to be Gladiator times or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, that's a big goof. But no, it happens, you know, and most people, I mean, and this is what they're guesstimating on, is that most people aren't going to know the year of all the cars. You know, there are the people out there, like even my father, who will sit there. I mean, we can stand on the damn street corner and these cars all start going by. He'd be like, that's that year. And I'm like,
well,
okay.
Well, I figured that out the first year we went to Midnight at the Oasis down here. I mean, he'd look at the front end of a car and know exactly what year it was, and it sure in the heck matched the tag.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about these old cars. I mean, you really, you know, they really have character, you know, unique character. You take a look at I don't know, a Ford Taurus from 1985 and a Ford Taurus from 1992, and I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You know. Yes, Ubaldo, I'm fine. And no, Isaac, I don't plan on dying.
Kurt,
no, more likely she was drinking and breathed at the same time, like she was a fish.
Yes, that's what I did.
See, I know her. I know her things.
Yeah, I know you do.
Anyways,
so what did you guys think of Kurt?
I liked this character.
He needed a bigger boat.
Yeah. Right. I did like this character because he kind of, I don't know, he was so unsure of what to do. But when he hooked up with this
we mean when he hooked up. You mean when the the Pharaohs took him?
Pharaohs,
yeah,
when the Pharaohs took him.
He didn't really hook up with them. They took him.
But that was what I was glad.
Because he was sitting on a car.
Oh
yeah,
gosh, right.
But you know, it was his way of getting into mischief.
Oh, he got into mischief that night.
So, I mean, it was his way of getting into mischief, having one last big hurrah, you know, just in case he did end up leaving.
But his mischief just became just because he sat down on a car. Although he did make out with, you know, one of his past girlfriends.
Yeah.
Man, her sister was not happy about that.
No.
Get out of my car, she said. I loved it.
And then the whole idea of trying to track this blonde down in this T-Bird through the whole movie.
Minus the time he was making out with his past girlfriend.
Like, yeah, minus that. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
he could have missed her. He could have maybe seen that Mr. Girl if he wasn't making out with his other girlfriend, his past girlfriend.
That's true.
Here he is making out with his past girlfriend, but he's still talking about the blonde in the T-Bird.
I know that girl should have like, get out of my car sooner.
I was waiting for her to backhand him. Personally, I know most of the girls and women I've dated in my time would have backhanded me.
The hell you thinking of?
All right. Before we move on, I don't want to forget about the polls I did today. So I'm going to real quick shoot them up because I asked 2 polls. Okay. The first one was, which car do you prefer from American Graffiti? So I'm going to ask you guys, do you guys prefer Milner's 1932 Ford 5 window coupe or Falfa's 1955 Chevrolet 150?
No, Milner all the way.
Oh yeah, Milner, no contest. I'm actually, when I'm done with this, I'm going to go on eBay and see if there's a die-cast version of it. I'm going to scarf that up.
And currently, it's also 100%. All right, so which would you prefer, Lori's 1958 Edsel Corsair or the Mystery Blonde's 1956 Ford Thunderbird?
T-Bird.
T-Bird all the way.
T-Bird all the way. However, it is also 50-50 currently on Instagram.
Really?
So. T-Bird all the way, but throw in the blonde. I'll be happy.
Hey, I'll take it because I am the blonde.
That's fine with me.
But we cannot forget a very important supporting role. Okay, we've already mentioned him once. I think it was Ro that mentioned him. And I know Ro kind of wanted to look like him tonight.
Oh, that's right.
And that is Mr. Wolfman Jack himself.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Legendary.
And it's too bad because we're talking about him earlier today, and I was trying to see if I can look for a Wolfman Jack animated GIF. Nothing. Nobody.
Wow.
There is no Wolfman Jack animated GIF for
How's that possible?
For some reason. Yeah, I don't know, man. If you grew up in this time, I didn't, by the way, so don't get smart, chat. But I mean, Wolfman Jack was a staple of the airwaves, both television and radio, first radio. But they did a really great job of really including him because, like I said, the music really is part of the fabric of this movie, and to be able to bring Wolfman Jack into this is great. R2, go for it, man. Let's do a Wolfman Jack GIF.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
I believe that R2 could, because that's just right up his alley.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at Wolfman, when you think of like in our era, it was Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Casey Kasem.
And then as far as TV went, I mean, American Bandstand, Dick Clark. I mean,
yeah,
those were the staples, definitely for our era.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know American Bandstand was kind of starting around this in the 60s, but I mean, Wolfman, geez, I would have loved to have been, when Ro was talking about this earlier, grabbing a TARDIS and going back. That is one of the reasons I want to go back just to hear Wolfman.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, there was comments made even in the movie where, they thought he was indifferent, with pretty much a pirate radio.
Right. Because
he was all over the country. And it's just crazy. I mean, and of course, I mean, when somebody says, give me a DJ that's, a well-known DJ, my first thoughts are always Wolfman Jack, even though I didn't grow up in that era.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I also did find this fun fact about how George Lucas you wanted something with Wolfman Jack, wanted radio to be included because it created a fantasy that didn't really exist except that was in your own mind. And I love how Wolfman Jack actually narrates it without narrating it the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kenny says he would take the coupe, the wife would take the 55. Wolfman Jack had the midnight special.
There you go.
And
oh, he was a great legendary, DJ. Of course, he was always blasting those tunes, which we'll be talking about soon. And his voice, I love his voice.
Oh yeah,
that voice.
Man, you get the Wolfman.
And of course, the prank phone call that was made. Who everybody? I'm assuming everyone here knows who was on the other side of that phone call.
Kim don't.
Hey, Ro, who's on the other side of the prank call that Wolfman Jack?
Explain which one the prank call is so she knows.
The prank
might
call
not remember it.
From Wolfman Jack to the pizza guy.
Oh yeah.
Do you know who the pizza guy was?
Do you know who the pizza guy was?
Yes or no? Just yes.
No.
Okay.
Ro?
No, I don't.
It's George Lucas.
Oh, very nice. I should know that.
No, I thought you knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the soundtrack too.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And RT shooting the facts for us.
Yeah.
The broadcast out of a very powerful station based in Mexico on the border before getting a job at a station in Cali. So it made it into the U.S. and thus being pirate radio technology.
Yeah. And then he also said George Lucas too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And George Lucas was creating also this character. Wolfman Jack, of course, was a real DJ, okay? But I guess having just a radio announcer in the movie was based off of another one named Bob Hudson. Another fun fact. Oh, yeah. All right. Here?
Real quick. Francis Ford Coppola encouraged Lucas to cast Wolfman Jack as himself in a cameo appearance. And it says, George Lucas and I went through thousands of Wolfman phone calls that were taped with the public. The telephone calls heard on the broadcast in the motion picture and on the soundtrack were actually calls with real people.
Wow.
So there you go. I loved how they played him to be like the myth when Kurt went in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, hey man, you the Wolfman? Oh no, man. I worked for him, you know, or he helped me get into the business, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Wizard of Oz moment.
Right.
You know, they're all going to on this journey, and then he finally gets to see the man behind the curtain, and it's, you know, is it really him? Is it not? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Sorry, I'm here. I'm just there we go. Moving into locations.
Oh.
Males driving.
And the sweet looking cars.
Heck yeah. Look
This
at that.
is
That coupe.
this is a picture of Universal Studios, though.
Yes, well, that's what I was able to find. So Mel's Drive-In. Well, the diner.
There's a cool picture. There's a cool picture of Mel's Drive-In, the location with these two cars, but I think George Lucas is leaning on the yellow car, and like kind of like looking down. But what a fantastic time in our U.S. history. These wonderful cars. I mean, look at that. That looks like a white Christine, like a '58 Plymouth. Wow, really great.
Yeah, so gorgeous.
Oh, nice fact, R2.
Yeah.
That's
that one. You got it.
Yep.
Oh, that'll be the day.
Lucas gave Wolfman royalties as a thank you for doing this role. Let him live a very comfortable life until his last days.
Yep.
Freaking awesome.
That's awesome.
R2 shooting the facts.
Yes.
Yep. All those fun facts.
You know, well, I mean, the cool thing also is when you think about the money that Lucas made off of this, helped him create Lucasfilm, create ILM. So, I mean, help us get Star Wars.
It did. And, you know, I mean, back to American Graffiti, you know, when they first came across Mel's Diner, it kind of reminded me of the local Sonic, where you just pull up and the voice boxes are there to order, and out comes them on roller skates.
Right.
There was an A&W restaurant, and I think it's still there in Payette, Idaho. The problem is they don't do it nowadays, but you could pull up, you know, and they would come out on skates.
Yeah.
You know, this was in the 80s. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I remember the first time going, what is this?
Yeah.
My mom and dad were like, oh, we used to this happen to us all the time. I'm like, what the? Back when we were, you know, in teenage, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Can we come back to this era?
Yeah. And
I'm with you. Let's go back.
Yeah, it just reminded me.
Just let me keep my music from the 80s.
Yeah. But yeah, it was cool that it reminded me of the local Sonic. So
yeah.
And the next one we have, I know, is of the school, the dance. I know it's a small picture.
The freshman
sock hop.
Yes,
the freshman sock hop.
Right. So I don't know. I noticed this. The one character that when Lori took her and Steve, she took the other guy, because this is where Steve's pretty much like, I don't know, we need to date other people and and so she's like, okay, fine. Takes pretty much one of her friends' girl or boyfriend, and that gal there, I can't remember her name now, but she went on and played Marilyn Lovell in Apollo 13.
Yeah.
And because Kim was watching it, and she's like, that girl looks familiar.
Yeah.
And I'm over here going,
yeah.
Can't say it.
Yeah. Because every time she pop across the screen, I'm going, she looks familiar. That actress looks familiar. Very young, but looks familiar.
Now, of course, one thing that happens in this is another kind of touchy subject, is the behind the stage scenes where Kurt's talking to the one teacher.
Yes.
And a female student comes up.
Yes.
And the teacher and the female student go off. They talk. That's all we see them doing. And your imagination takes it wherever you want to.
Yeah, whatever you want.
The dark side of hopefully something that didn't take place.
Yeah.
There's like 2 points. There's several perspectives I get with that. One, female student, no matter how young she was, she kind of knew what she was doing. Even if you watch other TV shows later on, I remember even Beverly Hills 90210. I remember there's this episode where Brenda loves her one teacher, right? She used to babysit for him, so she snoops around his house and stuff. Yeah, until his wife comes home, with him. But she does, and so she actually instigates things, and so at the same time, it's wrong. We know that.
Yeah.
And then to go to R2's looking bored and disappointed. So fun fact, might as well just start throwing them out rest of the way. The snowball dance was, so a snowball dance is when they were supposed to they start dancing together. Lori and Steve were supposed to dance together, and then they were supposed to separate and then go on with others. And of course they were in a fight at that point, an argument, and they didn't do what they were supposed to do. So they were like,
yeah,
what the heck? So kudos to the extras, man, for getting that extra point across that. Like you didn't do the actual snowball dance the way you're supposed to do a snowball dance.
It's the shakedown. It's the shakedown.
Who knows?
Shakedown.
Who knows?
Shakedown. Bob Seger.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Good song. Good song.
Yeah.
There's a movie marquee in the downtown area that had the movie Dementia 13 playing on the in the movie theater. This movie is supposed to take place in 1962, but that movie came out in 1963, and it was what people consider a goof, but it was done on purpose because George Lucas was doing a little paying homage to his partner. It was Francis Ford Coppola's first movie in 19. So that's kind of cool.
There you go. Yep. A&W copied Mills, and Sonic did copy 8 years later, but due to insurance liabilities, they stopped the skates.
Yeah.
Damn lawyers.
Right?
Yeah.
How dare they?
I know.
Oh, that's where I wish I had that one. How dare you?
I know.
Oh Lord. All right. Nicole, you got anything on the band that played that night at the dance?
I'm sure we do.
If not, I can pull it up real quick if I can find it.
And I'm sure they're I'm sure they're also included on the soundtrack that we'll be talking about.
I know, but I'm gonna read them up real quick. Last Cadillac and the Continental Kids. They began in 1969 in Boulder, Colorado, at the University of Colorado, with Chris Moe on keyboards, Lynn Phillips on guitar, Warren Knight on bass, and Harold Fielding on drums, and Mick Flash Maresso also on guitar and as the group's frontman. That's all I'm gonna say. They're a real group, Kim.
Yeah, I know.
Sure you don't.
Yeah, you showed me.
They are a real group.
Yep, you showed me.
Moving on.
But yes, you
The
did show
cruising
me.
scenes.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to include this, especially because this is what he grew up with in California. And honestly, how many people would rather take that than what we have now?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like going
Yes,
to
no, California.
like going to Hot August Nights in 04, 05 in Reno, Nevada. And when they did the night cruise down Virginia Street underneath the Reno Arch, and you're just standing there and watching, it was like, damn, this is freaking sweet. The only thing you're wishing is like all the neon signs or anything were back to where they were back in the 60s.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I know I told her sister that who was married to at the time. That's what I wish. That's what I wish would have been when they could have done, like somehow change all the neon stuff downtown to make it look like it was back in the 60s.
Oh yeah.
But it was still cool seeing these cars cruise even in Reno.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them
Go ahead.
Some of the cars that went to that big festival in Reno actually came through like Winnemucca and stuff. So I did get to see some of them. I just didn't get to see all of them. But yes, I love going. Oh, yeah, I love the style of cars in this movie.
Me too.
I wish I knew where my disc, my CDR discs were, from the pictures from all those, because I've literally got a picture of not only the really cool cars, but there's also the Mystery Machine.
Yeah.
And the original, not 89, but back in the 60s, Batmobile.
Yep.
Seeing that thing cruise down the street was pretty cool.
Yeah. I was going to say is that, of course, they invited a bunch of everyone in that local area to, of course, come and cruise, bring their cars. And I guess I heard that there's some drag races actually really happening. I don't know about him, but I would have been like taking and grabbing that camera out and been like taking pictures of that, filming. And of course, clean up on the in-between. So, you got to take care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, especially, in 73, I mean, people are realizing what they've got now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I know you're talking about fun facts, and I think it's a good place for this one to jump in, is about these cars from the film. What?
Just read what R2 says.
Well, here, given the popularity of the film, Cars was customized as hot rodders in the years since its release. The fate immediately after the film is surprising. All were offered for sale in San Francisco newspaper ads. Only the 58 Impala, driven by Ron Howard, attracted the buyer, selling for only a few $100s. The yellow Deuce and the white T-Bird went unsold, despite being priced as low as $3,000.
Dude, I'll buy that.
That's
what?
crazy.
We need that car. Seriously.
Right?
Yeah. Anyway, this is what I was.
All right, what you got, Kim?
She's an upholstery girl.
What does that mean?
I guess you'll have to ask R2.
I do. I like the cars and the inside of them.
Oh, and then of course Scott earlier was mentioning. Yeah, no wonder he was talking about extra in the back.
He lived in the area that this movie was filmed. He used to live in the city that the airport scene was filmed at, Concord, California. Nice.
And that's I put it as nice as I could. But that's where I was going with it.
It's always the quiet ones.
Right? Too far ahead.
Too far ahead.
We're still on the movie.
Yeah.
Let's have this soundtrack.
Yeah.
Music.
Before we get into music, any final thoughts about the movie itself before we get cruising into all the music? Because I know once we're here, we're there for a while.
Yes.
We love music.
One, see the very first time, I love this movie. I mean, again, we were talking about earlier, it really puts it right up there with all the coming of age movies that we all grew up on. And at least for me, I don't really know of any other type of coming of age movie before this.
No.
The only thing I would like to say is, in my opinion on the movie, is I feel like 62 was the last year of real innocence in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then subsequently we had Vietnam War started,
And
civil
Kennedy.
rights and racism and all this stuff. Yeah.
Kennedy being assassinated in 63. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I really think this is probably the last year of real true innocence in America.
JFK assassination. I mean, hell in a handbasket, I tell you.
I know my own personal thing about American Graffiti. This was my introduction to George Lucas. And, my parents weren't really big in Star Wars, but they loved American Graffiti. So American Graffiti was definitely a regular in our house. So I grew up on this movie and I just loved it. And of course, eventually George Lucas led me other places, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And of course, I know Ro mentioned this earlier, and that is, of course, one of the big reasons why this took so long to finally get off the ground was because of the huge, fantastic soundtrack. And a huge, I want to say thank you to again, because even though I did this back when, huge thank you to my co-host, because they sent me this beautiful beauty back about 5-6 months ago when we first started planning this today.
Yeah,
I am so jealous. I've got the CDs. You guys have the vinyls. That's awesome.
Yeah, look at those beauties.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Look at that.
There we go.
Let's talk about wearing leather and skates.
Aren't I in a picture that has the fold like right around the same area?
Oh, I don't know, bro. Let's just take a look, shall we? Do you see yourself? Oh, look, there he is. He's right in there.
Yeah.
Right in there. He's right there. Or is that you right with Suzanne Summers? Is that you, Ro?
That's my left shoulder. Yes.
Oh, that's him. That's him. That's his shoulder. He was just hiding.
Too funny.
The music. Oh, wow. And the
Yeah.
thing is, I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but I mean, the music really does follow a theme of the end of the 50s and into the 60s. And I was noticing that when I'm listening, when you're hearing it in the background, or things going on, or, even like Rose said earlier, the overpowering the music, and it's just there in your face. And it is another character because it sets up the scene. It sets
does.
up what our characters are going through.
Yeah.
And just the fact that it literally goes over and literally in way almost chronological order of years, which is crazy to think about, because you can even look like movies in our era where like probably like Dazed and Confused. I mean, those songs were all over the place from the 70s. They weren't like, and hey, this one came out in 71, 2, 3, something like that. And this one really did follow that way.
Yeah.
Barrel that said someone cut the cheese, coined
coined
the
the
term
term
Wookiee. Interesting. Well, thank you, R2.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought that was interesting. That's why I popped it up.
Yeah. That's a good one.
But we were talking. I was talking about Flash Cadillac and the fact that they were a real band and they played at the Hop. But one of the cool things is they played one of their own original songs in the movie too, which was on like their first album that was released, which is crazy to think. But they were a band who also were kind of like a Sha Na Na.
Yeah.
And again, I remember Sha Na Na. Don't remember these guys, but that was just because I was introduced to them or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
And the first song, of course, right off the bat is "We're Gonna Rock Around the Clock," which, of
1, 2,
course,
3,
Cindy
4,
Williams, Ron Howard later would be
5, 6,
"Happy
7, 8,
Days,"
8
which we already
o'clock.
talked about a little bit.
Yep.
That song is like, let's just makes me want to dance. Kind of like I was at Club Scarif just in the 1960s.
A bad influence.
You are. They are. I don't know who is. But yeah, I love that song by Bill Haley in the comments. And then 16 Candles at the school.
16 candles. Yeah,
Gosh.
there's not a bad song on this soundtrack.
No.
There's not. There's like what, 40?
41.
41.
Yeah, even the CD is a 2 CD set.
Yeah, it's a 2 record set.
It's
for vinyl.
It's a lot.
41 original hits from the soundtrack of American Graffiti.
Yep.
Well,
plus Wolfman Jack in betweens every so often.
Mhm.
I can think of like even the soundtrack for Footloose. I don't like all the songs off of it.
Okay.
Nicole has a problem.
There's one on side 2. It's like, whatever. It's never really been that great. Or even Ghostbusters soundtrack. There's a couple songs on there. I'm like, whatever. They just don't do it. But there's very few soundtracks where I can sit there and say I can listen to the full thing.
Well, and I think you made a really good point earlier, and that was, George Lucas really did well when it came to let's do music that goes with the movie and moves through with it just right. And I think he had even though we had, John Williams, when that came down to it in Star Wars, he still had to work with George, so I think that George Lucas has a really good sense of, hearing and stuff to kind of take that and add that to his imagination to what we're seeing visually.
So, one thing, Universal wanted Lucas and producer Gary Kurtz to hire an orchestra for sound alikes. The studio eventually proposed a flat deal that offered every music publisher the same amount of money. This was acceptable to most of the companies representing Lucas's first choices, but not to RCA, with the consequences that Elvis Presley is conspicuously absent from the soundtrack.
Yes, that's my only downside to the soundtrack.
Clearing the music licensing rights had a cost approximately of $90,000.
Wow.
Which isn't that much nowadays.
Okay, hold up. Say that one more time. It cost what?
Music licensing was $90,000.
That was for Elvis? Wait,
no, for all the music.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. For some odd reason, because you mentioned Elvis, and then my brain kind of took two and two, cut them together, and I'm like, wait. Then all I could think of was, well, you know who that dirty rat was to keep Elvis out of this soundtrack.
Well, that's the thing is, I'm sure the Colonel, I'll use his friggin' name, probably went and said, you want an Elvis song, it's going to cost you $90,000. One song.
Right.
Kim is growling, you guys.
We'll mute the growler.
Don't even get me started on that.
You scare roll off. Quick.
Never heard you growl there, Kim.
We have a very dislike and hate for a particular Colonel of Elvis's.
Okay.
Was just a dirty rat.
He was
a dirty rat. So, yeah. Is that why he's not on this?
Yeah.
That jerk. Not Elvis. We're not talking about Elvis. We're talking about the Colonel.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out, but again, as doing everything else, I kind of lost track of that one. Oh, and I love that Chuck Berry was on this. Johnny Be Good. I love that song. Teen Angel. So many good ones. Ro, did you have any favorites like from the soundtrack that you're like, oh my god, this?
I haven't listened to it in a while, but there's so many songs on there that are just great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a song that's coming up here in September called "See You in September" by the Tempos.
Yeah, I remember that one.
See You in September. Of course, the Beach Boys.
Right.
Which you look like you could go hang out with right now.
That's right.
In your T-shirt with the blonde.
There you go. Sign me up.
Now I've got to go look for the other album.
What?
A second compilation titled More American Graffiti, and not to be confused with the 1979 film sequel of the same name, was issued by MCA in early 75 with Lucas's approval. It features more rock and doo-wop hits from the late 50s and early 60s. Only one of which, The Crow's G, was featured in the film, along with additional Wolfman Jack dialogue. And a third and final compilation titled American Graffiti Volume 3 was also issued by MCA in early 76.
Wow.
All three albums were released as 2-record sets and as a double-length tape, and now entirely out of print. Oh, I'm searching these suckers out.
Oh, yeah.
You okay, Kim?
You wonder, like, you want to get your hands on those, but it's going to cost you a pretty penny. I mean, at that point, you're like, do I want the record or do I want the car?
I'll take both.
Depends.
Right? I'm with you. I want them both. But, when they're about like $6,000 each, you're kind of like, one's up way more than $6,000. One's like $50,000.
So here's an interesting fact for our United Kingdom friends. The UK version of the soundtrack is slightly reordered and omits 3 tracks, both Beach Boys songs. So no Beach Boys on there. And Teen Angel by Mark Dinning. The album is thus retitled 38 original hits from the soundtrack of American Graffiti.
Why? I wonder why. Why would you ban those songs? They just want them. They're damn dancing nice and close. I mean, they're gonna dance with each other that nice and close, just like that. You know, the other person's there, and
Yeah.
I don't understand.
There's actually differences between the vinyl and CD releases.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like looking through this. I didn't even look this stuff up. I just did now to that's
I
Domino.
told you we're gonna get to the music. You're gonna want. You're gonna
Ain't
die.
that a shame? On the original vinyl release of the soundtrack, an alternate version including an overdubbed female chorus created for Domino's 1963 LP, Let's Dance with Domino, is used. The CD issue uses the original hit single recording.
Wow.
Nice.
Love Potion number 9 by the Clovers.
Love Potion number
9.
The vinyl release features the LP version, which concludes with the lyrics, I had so much fun that I'm going back again. I wonder what will happen with Love Potion number 10. The CD features a single version of the song, which concludes by repeating the verse, but when I kissed a cop at 34th and Vine, he broke my little bottle of Love Potion number 9.
Mm-hmm.
And the final song, Party Doll by Buddy Knox, fades out earlier than the original version during the final chorus.
Wow.
So, curious, in the United States, we know how it works. Gold is 500,000 copies sold. Platinum is 1 million copies sold. How many times platinum is this, or is it only gold?
I think it's gold.
Yeah,
I would think it's gold because this soundtrack is fantastic.
3 times platinum.
Wow.
Well, I think it should be gold.
Well, no, it's platinum. Platinum is the highest.
Oh, sorry, 3 times platinum. My bad.
Gold, you only sell 500,000 copies.
Oh no. Well, I meant platinum.
Wow.
Meant platinum.
Twice adamantium. Look it up.
Again, I mean, I can see why this went 3 times platinum.
Yeah, I can too.
I mean, and I don't know if that's even including the current resales of CDs or not, because I know a lot of when you go onto the RIAA, which stands for the recording. Shoot, I used to know that back when this was a full music podcast. I used to know that Recording Institute. Anyways, those will keep climbing as they sell CDs and and reissue vinyls and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's why Thriller is still one of the few or one of the highest selling albums ever.
Yeah,
which is weird. It was a good album. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah.
I want to read something here in the vinyl because I think this is really neat. It's talks about the ending of the movie. Okay?
Right on.
I'll be very quick. Kurt's goodbyes are unknowingly final as he leaves his friends to the various lives and deaths and flies off to the east. The 60s remain before him. Dylan, Vietnam, assassinations, the Beatles, hippies, and hopefully some sort of cosmic awareness. Their fates are painfully obvious. The ending, a variation on the old Dragnet format, is among the most chilling final seconds I've ever seen. The film itself is among the finest. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, see, like the versions we all see, either on, if you own the Blu-ray or you see it on Netflix, is the full complete film.
I hope so.
But Universal had them cut out 3 scenes on the original release.
Oh.
To shorten the film up. Oh. But then again, the original whole movie was 3.5 hours.
Release the Lucas cut.
Exactly.
Yo, George, call us up, baby. We want the full version.
Yeah, we do.
And speaking of which, can we also get the holiday special, please? I'm joking. I don't want to see the holiday special. I saw it once and that was enough.
I mean, it's probably just Lori and Steve still arguing, when they're supposed to be doing the snowball dance. Come on.
Yeah.
Although I bet you all the crooning though from the 1960s was probably good, the Christmas 60s. So
yeah, I agree, Isaac. Universal did fail us.
Yeah, right here it says the first cut of American Graffiti was 3.5 hours long, and to whittle the film down to a more manageable 2 hours, many scenes had to be cut, shortened, or combined. Lucas originally wanted an ABCD plot structure
Oh, okay.
where you pretty much follow each character.
I get that.
Yeah.
But when he completed his final cut of American Graffiti, which ran 112 minutes in December of 72, let's see if we can find what scenes were actually cut out that they finally did. Also, Lucas wanted his then wife at the time, Marcia, to edit Graffiti, but Universal executive Ned Tannen insists not hiring Verna Fields, who had just finished editing Steven Spielberg's The Sugarland Express.
Ooh.
She only worked on the first rough cut of the film before she left to resume work on What's Up, Doc. I know I read what scenes were cut, or knocked out, and then re-brought back in for 78 release. Re-release or something like that.
I know.
I just
DB's
thought
trying to get your motor running.
Dragon Buddy's comment.
Yeah. He's trying to get
There she goes.
DB. He just had to get the motor running.
Oh, here it was. Here. Say penis.
Well,
Scott has filtered it all out. Scott has filtered it all out. Keep going, Scott.
Yeah, keep going.
Despite despite praise at the January 1973 test screening attended by Universal executives, the studio told Lucas they wanted to re-edit his original cut of American Graffiti. Francis Ford Coppola sided with Lucas against it, and against Tannen and Universal, offering to buy the film and from the studio and reimburse it for the $775,000, equivalent to 5.4 in 2022. That was 5.4 million, by the way.
Yeah.
That was the cost it took to make it. 20th Century Fox, Paramount Pictures made similar offers to the studio. Universal refused these offers, told Lucas they planned to have William Hornbeck re-edit the film. The scenes that they cut out included the encounter between Toad and the fast-talking car salesman, an argument between Steve and his former teacher, Mr. Groot, at the sock hop. I'm sorry, I'm happy they put that one back in because that was hilarious.
It was.
That one moment when he told him off, he's like, "You got suspended." Uh-huh. Yeah.
I graduated last semester. Like, yes. And the effort by Bob Falfa, whatever, but Harrison Ford's character, to serenade Laurie with Some Enchanted Evening. The studio initially thought that the film was only fit to release as a television movie.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah. But
Yeah,
they reissued it in May 26, 1978 with Dolby Sound, and they put those 3 spots back in. Also, with the release of that, or the home video releases, they also changed the ending where they added John Milner's death, which Nicole just mentioned, was changed from June of 64 to December 64 to fit the narrative structure of the upcoming sequel, more American Graffiti.
Yeah.
At the end of its theatrical run, American Graffiti had one of the biggest or greatest profit to cost ratios of motion picture ever. Francis Ford Coppola regretted having not financed the film himself. Lucas recalled he would have made $30 million, or equivalent to $198 million in 2022 on the deal.
Whoa.
Wow.
He never got over it, and he still kicks himself. It was a 13th highest grossing film of all time in 1977.
Yep.
Wow.
And adjusted for inflation, it is currently the 43rd highest movie.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Top 50.
Yeah.
The DVD was released in September of 1998. And in January of 2004, they released the double feature with more American Graffiti. The 78 version of the film has been used since, with all those re-releases, with the additional digital change to the sky in the opening title sequence. And Universal re-released the film on Blu-ray with the newly digitally remastered picture supervised by George Lucas, on May 31st, 2011.
Wow.
Awesome.
And then he sold his soul to Disney.
Shh. We don't talk about that.
I had to put that one in there.
I know you did.
Too funny.
Nice. Oh Lord, he got the motor running again. Get your motor running. That song's not on the soundtrack.
No, it should have been.
Do you want to dance?
Again, I mean, movie, music. This, I mean,
It's
I don't know.
fantastic.
What do you think, Nicole? I mean, we always try to choose something from the movie that we're going to use as our.
I don't know.
value.
Is it silver, gold, or platinum? That's how I think we should do it.
Oh, so we're going to just give it by that. Well, if that's the case, why don't we just go by Olympics medals and go gold, silver, or bronze?
But you said platinum was the highest. That's
In
you.
music sales,
Yeah, you said that, and if that's true, that's fact. So
in music sales, I don't know what it is for DVD.
I say it's platinum. It's fantastic. I mean, it's a good movie.
Man.
Watch it. But I would say this though, to those who are new to watching American Graffiti, remember this movie was done again. It would have been 1962, but it was filmed in 1970. It came out in 1973. So please remember that.
How about we just put it this way?
Yeah.
Millennials, you might be okay. Millennials and backwards, watch this movie. You've never seen it. Everyone else, Nicole's ready to smack me.
Yeah, you better. Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna say? What is he gonna say?
Hey, you want to keep going with that? You want to keep going with that?
What?
That being said, just everybody go watch this movie. American Graffiti is actually currently still on Netflix until the end of the month. And I did hear it's supposed to be coming back to the theaters for a short run, but I haven't.
Oh
think I have one
man,
like
if that does. Oh.
Yeah, I think it's like supposed to be in like 2 Sundays or something.
Wow.
I know. See it on the big screen.
That would be amazing.
You know what would be even better though? You know what I'd rather do? Because we live in Illinois and you and I have several drive-ins. I'd rather go to the drive-in and watch it in like an old vintage car. I just say one of my uncle and be like, can we go? You can drive that nice vehicle because I know you won't trust me with it. But
I heard the 21st century drive-ins are not as fun.
Ours are really nice, and we can talk about that one later. But we do have some really good ones here in Illinois.
Well, do they still do the old hanging the speaker on the window? Or are you tuning into an FM station?
It's your choice. At least
okay.
2 of them that I know of.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Well, as long as it's your choice, that's cool.
I remember. Yeah.
No, I mean, for me, if I'm
But
going
you don't
to
want to wreck the car at this point. Take care of the car. Keep it nice. Because in my world, like if I go to the drive-in to see American Graffiti, I want to actually be in like an old vintage T-Bird or something.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. Yeah, and she'll be dressed in her pink lady's outfit.
Yes, I will be.
Yes.
Or I'll be wearing my poodle skirt. I have one of those too.
Poking me in the eye with something.
That's an Ewok, and I don't have those. That's just special for you, bro. Now it's just special for you.
That's awesome.
Oh, Lord, Kim took that a whole nother direction.
Yeah.
So did I.
Kim, it's not what you think.
Oh my eye.
It's not what y'all think.
But it could be. But it could be.
You had to be there, okay?
Yeah.
Come
It would've
next
been
year, C2E2, Chicago, April. Come see Ro and I. I'll show you in person.
Bring a camera.
You did, but
I did, yeah.
Oh goodness. No, I mean, like I said, it's the first time I ever saw this movie, and wow.
Yeah.
It
shocked me. I'm like, y'all haven't seen the movie? Like, that surprised me. When you guys told me that however many months ago, like, I remember being shocked. Like, how?
Well, first of all, grew up in a small town.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay, but when you got extra siblings and
I had extra siblings.
Well, she had more siblings than I did, but it just never came across my radar. You know, I mean, I had no friends. I mean, cars, yes, cars were cool. I mean, you know, we watched plenty of movies about, you know, cars and stuff, you know, back from that era, and it was just never a movie that came across me. My parents never saw it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have no clue why. I know, like, when I saw it in like FYEs or whatever throughout the time, Best Buys and stuff, I would pick it up, look at it, and I wouldn't like look at the back. I mean, I think a lot of it for me was like, oh, Ron Howard, Richie Cunningham, Cindy Williams, Shirley. You know, I was already typecasting them. You know, from the roles I knew they played. You know, after this, obviously, but.
Yeah, I was really surprised that it didn't come across in our family because I had uncles, of course, they're no longer with us, but I had uncles that was into cars that always, that always sit there and just told us about the cars they used to drive and how, you know, and just describe them. So I was really surprised that it didn't come across.
I think I'm deep enough. I think we're deep enough in this podcast. My mom won't listen this far out, but I got a funny story. My dad told me one time he'd been drinking one night and misplaced his car. Walked past what he thought was his car at he thought it was a parking lot. Ended up being a dealership.
Oh,
open the door. I'm like, are you kidding me? You stole a car? I'm like, you're grounding me for what? And you stole a car? Eventually, he went back to his friends.
Jinx.
He found his friends, and you know, and they finally got him. You know, they drove it back to the dealership, and they took him back to go get his car. I'm like, good Lord.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but you're lucky.
Oh, it'll be in theaters at the end of the month, August 23rd, locally.
I was like, because I was looking up the same thing where it was, and I was like, just typing it out. And
AMC, right across the street from work. AMC. August 27th, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
So, if you're local, come visit us. That's what he's saying. Come hang out with us. Let's go watch it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get some locals involved.
Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
I would love to see it in theaters. A lot of movies I'd love to see in theater. But
I
mean, you know, the thing is, you know, when it comes down to it, you think of the way. Also, one thing was pointed out too. I read that this was the first movie to include everyone, not just department heads, at the end credits.
Oh yeah, because he couldn't pay anybody.
Right.
Yep.
And they said, "Would you like to see your name in lights?" They're like, "Sure."
And from what I'm getting, this was the first time it was ever done, and this was what became the standard. So thank you, Luke, for the long end credits.
Hey.
Got to do what you had to do.
Exactly.
Well, but then again, I mean, look at George. You know, I mean, he did a lot of things because, you know, we can go to Star Wars.
Yeah.
He broke the rule on not having the actors and actresses' names and everybody's names in the beginning of a movie.
Yeah.
He got in a lot of trouble with Hollywood people.
The DGA kicked them out for it.
Yeah, that one.
Oh well.
Directors Guild. But yeah.
That's also part of the creative process, though, and being willing to go outside your comfort zone and do something different.
Yeah.
And I think that was important. He needed to do it because if it wasn't going to be him, somebody else eventually would have come along and would have done it.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, if you've never seen this movie, go and watch it. If you got an opportunity to go see it in your local theater, do it. I can about imagine what kind of a concert sounds going to be like.
Yeah. Especially with all the fantastic music.
Well, you can have Wolfman Jack really loud. You can have the music really loud. And then the cars.
Oh, yeah, the cars. The cars.
Yes, I love the cars.
We do love them cars.
Yes.
The cars and Harrison Ford. Thank you. Hey, they get Suzanne Summers. We get at least Harrison.
I'm just cooling her off.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, Harrison Ford. Seriously.
We don't need her. We don't need her back in the hospital.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Oh, but this was fun. It was a great movie. I'm happy we watched it. I'm happy we talked about it. And again, thank you to Ubaldo for giving us a heads up about the 50th anniversary.
Absolutely, thank you.
Originally, it was supposed to be on a Tuesday night, and that was the 50th anniversary. But due to someone's schedule change,
life happens, but it makes
life gets in the way, so we had to move to Sunday. So here we are.
Yes.
But we kept it in its place, and it's just ironic that earlier in the week, and everybody, if you have it, go check out after the weekend's review of this same movie from last Monday. I mean, yes, we're good. How can you not have a lot of the same stuff?
Yeah.
But hopefully we've also come across with some extra different stuff, and they had different stuff than us. But
this is George Lucas's.
I bet you they didn't. I bet you nobody said penis on After the Weekend.
True.
Bro, you just had to do it.
Yeah, just pointing out the obvious.
Scott, just remember, he did it, not me. He did it, not me.
I mean, nice. DB's still in the chat. He can get it going.
Well, DB started, but Ro was adding on after you said, no, Nicole, we didn't want her in the hospital. All I did was bring up Harrison Ford.
I swear.
Like, record her laughing.
This is what we need to do. One of these nights is just do it. One of those ASMRs, and we'll just put Kim dead center. Nicole be in the chat all night putting penis and all these different words in the chat. Just let her laugh, and that'll be the night for everybody until she's about ready to pass out and die. Wrong one. We hit that one first. We said take a bunch last night on Weekend Harder.
I was at a party last night, so I missed it. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch the replay. So check out After the Weekend.
Oh God! Give us some ether.
Choke it. That's what she said.
Yep.
That is not what she said.
Nicole is meditating.
My dad said, Scott, you better turn on a fan.
Yeah, the AC is running right down. I mean, what is it? Still 100 degrees out here. So
no. My dad was at that party, R2, who's like has a message above yours. No, I was not. Thanks, R2. Good timing.
Perfect timing, R2. Perfect.
All right, so what's next week?
Next week.
Oh my God.
Yes. I think this is perfect timing and a good way to remember the late Robin Williams.
Oh yeah. We're his goddamn kids too.
It was a dicey and everything. It was a drive-by fruiting. Did you not tip the waiter?
Oh, I love this movie. I actually watched this one in the theater with, and we had Hannah with us. One, she was, I don't remember what year. I think it came out in 93. So she'd been like September 93 or something in there. So she'd only been like 8 or 9 months old. And I've never not heard a baby not cry in the theater. She never cried.
Yeah.
Freaking good kid. And then she got older.
We reviewed that one.
This is our take. Our take.
Well, it's pretty hard not to like review a bunch of the same ones.
Well, and this was coming up. It was coming up also on an anniversary, but I thought it was good timing because, again, Robin Williams, or
Oh yeah.
What else do you have coming up, R2? Yeah, just make a list and email it to them. Then they'll just do it.
It was like I was telling Kim, Robin Williams for me, first Mork and Mindy, and then you know, I know a lot of people don't like this movie. But damn it, I love his
Oh, this
Popeye.
is hilarious.
I love his Popeye movie. And then there's World According to Garp. I mean, plus he got his stand up. And this man is a brilliant.
We can't forget Ro. He was also in the Birdcage.
Yes, he was. And he was in another spin-off of Happy Days.
Mork and Mindy. Mm-hmm.
Work, calling, Orson.
Orson.
Come in, Orson.
Work from work.
I've got that back there on DVD.
I know.
I need to watch it.
Nano.
No. Whoa, you guys got the real
The real
cruising
cruising.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Wow. You know, if you're going to bring the cars by, Scott, you could at least shown us. Thanks.
Yeah, too bad it's like what a 2010, 11, or 12 vehicle.
Yeah.
Piece of junk. It's like turn off the damn alarm. It don't need to be on.
Exactly.
Either that or never mind, I won't say it. Speaking of which, where is the unofficial mascot?
Elfie I don't know where she is tonight. She was in here at the beginning, like at that side. Yeah. And then she must be out in the living room.
He says, but guess what we're talking about tomorrow on After the Weekend now?
I don't know. Cars? It's car month over there.
Yeah, it's car month over there on
Car
After
month.
the Weekend.
Yeah.
I think they're gone in 60 seconds.
I think so.
Oh, I like that movie too.
Never seen it.
Oh, that's a good movie. That's
Who stars in it?
Is that Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
Yep.
that's why I
Angelina
haven't
Jolie.
seen it.
Same here, Scott. I'm not a big Nicolas Cage fan.
And Angelina Jolie. Some people just watched it for her. I did.
Yeah.
I watched
Only-
just because I like
I'm
cars.
trying to think. The only Nick Cage, I liked him in Raising Arizona,
Uh-huh.
and he was in Fast
Moonstruck.
Times?
With Cher.
Right? What?
Moonstruck. With Cher. He was
Never
in
seen
a
that one
movie
either.
with Cher.
Yeah, never saw that one either.
He's so good.
I mean, the only one I really liked with Nick Cage, and it was Face Off with him and Travolta.
Oh my God, yeah. I saw it in the theaters because I had free passes,
Oh.
and I had to see it a second time because I was supposed to go with somebody, and they canceled because they were sick, and then I had to go the second time with that same person on kind of like a date, and I had to pretend that I didn't see it the first time.
Why didn't you be honest and just tell her?
I was like, oh wow, ooh,
Yeah.
Why didn't you just tell your date that you'd seen it before, but you couldn't wait to see it again?
because I was immature.
Oh, that just goes perfectly with the themes of the American
There you
Graffiti.
go. See?
Lovely.
Told ya.
Nice.
It's complicated.
We guessed
I
right.
like Cobra.
Tonight's gone in 60 seconds. I win.
I
What
think-
did I win,
didn't-
R2? I got it right.
Didn't it also come out around the time of all the damn Fast and the Furious movies?
Yes.
I'm not sure if
Like-
it
Or
did.
those were,
Yes, like early 2000s. Yes.
okay, so that I was getting tired of it or getting sick of those movies.
Yeah,
Never
'cause
seen,
like-
never seen one.
I'm happy you haven't, Ro, because that was a waste of my friggin' life. I like watching Marvel movies for me. Waste of time.
This is
Ow.
yeah. It says we got Con Air, and then 2 weeks later, Face Off.
Nice.
Was-
97, yes, was definitely a magical year.
Yeah, got Con Air, and then yep, Con Air is another good one too.
There you
Yes.
go. You got a guest appearance. And R2, you can sign her up for W Does Dallas.
No, and do y'all just like forget that my dad is in this chat? Y'all behave yourselves. The answer is no, R2. Dear Lord. Alrighty then.
Oh, Nicole, the thing is, if we don't tease you, that means we don't love you.
And we really love you.
They say they love me, Dad. There you go.
You know, you can scoot the hell
Oh
over.
yes, hold on, DB.
What?
Yes, Porky's. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Lassie. And my parents do know that one. They know that I know that all about that movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that would be like a late night one. We would be probably on a late night Saturday and
No, I'm thinking like Sunday afternoon, right? At noon.
What are we going to be doing? Holding drinks while we talk about Porky's?
Oh, hell yeah. Got to do Revenge of the Nerds in the middle of the daytime, too.
Just in time for Return to the Call.
We're already after dark anyways. 8 p.m. Eastern, we're after dark. This isn't the 80s.
I was after dark before it became popular.
There you go. Yes.
Yes, it was. Kim Cattrall, the owl. Take her up the stairs. He'd find out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I just like, oh.
Mrs. Ballbreaker. Pee-wee.
My favorite point.
Y'all don't even understand. I got this movie memorized.
My favorite moment there with Ballbreaker was when the principal and the coaches were all together and she's talking about the young man's penis and describing it. And then the other coach was like, what we need to do is bring in like one of those crime sketch artists. Have you seen this dick or penis? I'm like, oh my God, I love this movie. And with that being said, yes, next week we're doing Mrs. Doubtfire. I love how we pull it.
A lot more family friendly in comparison to the Porkies.
I doubt it. We are not very. We're partial family friendly on this podcast.
Partial.
Oh. What?
Isaac, we blame Scott now. It's all about Scott. We blame Scott. I like Porkies, but he brought up that particular scene. All Scott.
And you know what? That's plural. It should be peni. There she goes again.
Yep, there she goes again with her going like that. We want to thank everybody in the chat tonight. Ro, thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you, Ro.
Stay tuned.
My pleasure.
To do This is Doubtfire, and until next week, have a great week.
And a great weekend.
Be kind to everyone.
Everyone?
Everyone.
Yeah, you got to be kind to everyone.
Including Kathleen Kennedy. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Peace.
Peace.